Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. It's been a while. Thought I'd do a late night drive. I've been up anyways, so we're gonna do a late night drive down to downtown Seattle. Drive down 3rd, check things out, see how things are looking, and just do a talking video while we drive here. So let's get into it, and here we go. We are actually going from Lake City way into Seattle, so I don't think I've actually done that route yet. So this will be a little bit of a different route than we've taken before in the past, but thought it'd be fun to do one of these. It's been, I don't even know how long since we did a night drive. Seemed to be a pretty popular video when we did it in the past, so we'll see if you guys like it. Anyhow, a couple exciting things happened. Channel hit over 1,000 subscribers this month actually, so thank you guys for tuning in and watching. Really appreciate it. December was pretty busy, so I tried to throw up some shorts where I could. I have some more videos to edit. I just, between my new job and family and the holidays, just didn't really have a whole lot of time to get editing as much as I would like. So looking forward to definitely getting some more videos out, and just want to say thank you. I cannot believe the channel hit 1,000 subscribers in about 10 months. So that was pretty cool to see. And got a couple fun things that I'm thinking about going and doing with the channel, so that'll be an upcoming video talking about some changes that are going to be happening. Still plan on doing drives, still plan on walking around, but got a couple exciting things that happened, and would like to try and incorporate it into the channel. And if you guys like it, please let me know, but we'll talk about that in the near future. Other than that, getting over my 3rd bout of COVID, so cannot believe it. I've actually had COVID 3 times now. So first time was definitely the worst. Body aches, lots of coughing, felt like I was gonna cough up my lungs. Second time, just tired, exhausted, wasn't too horrible. That was basically a year ago, and then now COVID again this last week, so finally getting over it, feel better. Shouldn't be contagious anymore, but was still one of those things where yet again I had to take some time off work just in case, and you know, follow the current protocols and what they have for that. But yeah, you know, COVID's here to stay. So how many times have you guys had it? I'm kind of surprised I've had it 3 times. It seems like whenever the new strain or variant comes out, it seems to hit us in a wave. So I ended up with the Omicron variant first time around. Didn't get it with Delta, didn't get the original COVID, but Omicron, whatever was this last summertime, I got it then, and then whatever this newest version, it looks like I got that again. Alright, so we are coming into Seattle over the I-5 bridge right now. This is probably my favorite view of Seattle. Like, just this view on a beautiful night like tonight, you just can't ask for anything better. So it's always great to see all the lights. It was actually a little foggy earlier, so it actually cleared up quite a bit. So we'll see if we see any fog or not, but looking forward to getting downtown. You know, I haven't been downtown very much lately. I've been busy with work and just family life and everything else, so I honestly don't know how it looks exactly. I can tell you that as far as watching the news and listening to things going on and around the area, we're still having the same issues. It's kind of have one thing pop up, they kind of take it seriously for a little while, pops up in another location, and then it comes back to the same areas over and over. So Seattle is Seattle, and unfortunately they seem to think doing the same exact idea of how to solve this issue will fix it. So you just hear them kind of lipstick on a pig, same idea, new plan, but it's the same plan, just said in a different way. So doesn't mean all areas are bad. Recently I've had a few people asking more questions on the channel about areas that are good versus bad. You know, Belltown video has gotten a few more views lately, And I can tell you, if you're looking for a good place to live, there's lots of neighborhoods outside of Seattle that are surrounding Seattle that are great to look at. I had a buddy that lived in Maple Leaf, the Roosevelt area. You know, great walking areas, great bars, great coffee shops, lots of things to go check out. As far as living pretty much in Seattle, that's still Seattle, but you don't get some of the problems that you get as far as being downtown Seattle. So that's something to check out. West Seattle, the West Seattle Bridge is finally open again. So with that bridge being open, your time getting into downtown has gotten a lot better. There's the water taxi as well from downtown. So, you know, you have some options as far as how you get around, even from West Seattle. And then if you go further north, you know, the busing system isn't the best around here, but you can basically get into the city pretty easy all the way up until Linwood, and Everett takes a little longer, but you know, if you're going up further north, they're going to have the light rail done at some point. That's going to give you better access into the city as well. Just different options. So nighttime's always cool. Coming down here, you know, city is pretty empty. So Seattle doesn't have a busy nightlife like some other big cities do. So when you come down here during the nighttime, it's a lot quieter. You know, bars are closed by 2:30, so their last call is at 2, and some of them even earlier, like 1:30. There are some clubs and bars that'll stay open, but as far as alcohol goes, once they hit that 2:30, you cannot serve alcohol anymore. So kind of the most dangerous time to be out, which I'm kind of in right now. It's 3 in the morning and I'm hanging around downtown Seattle doing a drive. This is when you'll definitely see some more drunks on the road, and usually you're going to see more police out as well. But we're kind of not going to where all the bars are. We're hitting the main downtown core. Another news story that came out today, Friday, this is the last day that the Nike store is going to be open in downtown Seattle. They actually are shutting it down. So things just still haven't fully recovered from COVID. You know, the city did a lot of things where they just weren't the best at how they handled it. Amazon announced that their big building that they have, it's like 23 floors of space. They're actually going to be shutting that building down, and employees are not going to be returning to that office off of 8th Street, which is really unfortunate because, you know, all those people working in those buildings are what support all of these side jobs. So the Starbucks, the coffee shops, the restaurants, the mom and pop stores, you know, all these unique little things about Seattle. I wouldn't say downtown is dead, but we're definitely seeing downtown change. So, you know, Nike leaving, Macy's left a few years ago. Starbucks has closed a few shops actually in the downtown core now. And you're seeing more and more even mom and pop shops that are shutting down in the downtown area and the Pioneer Square area. It's just it's unfortunate to see. So it'll be interesting to see how things develop and where things go from here. But right now, you know, the city didn't have the best response to COVID. They kind of let homelessness and drugs and crime kind of wreak havoc on the city, and kind of did a hands-off approach. And right now the police numbers are way down. They just had a study that came out, and it was asked if pay was an issue of why police are leaving Seattle, and it was a resounding no. It wasn't the pay that was the issue. Sounds like a lot more has to do with the politics, the way they're getting treated, and their inability to do their job. You know, when it comes to right down to it, people are openly using drugs. So it's another question I've been getting asked recently again is it safe to be down here? Am I gonna have an okay time to bring my kids down here? And, you know, for the most part, just know that the issues we have, the crime is a lot more amongst themselves. So if you're a drug addict, if you're homeless, living on the streets, criminal and things like that, there's a very good chance that you're probably gonna have something bad happen to you. For the most part, they don't transfer to just people walking around and hanging out in downtown Seattle. That being said, that's not always true though. So, you know, there have definitely been cases where people have gotten attacked in downtown. All right, so here we go. We're on 3rd. That individual is very, very high. So, I mean, it's cleared. There aren't too many people around. Some people huddling, doing drugs and playing the guitar right there. More people doing drugs here. So I mean, it's still here. Really no police presence, and people are just kind of hanging out. We got a guy that created a little fire on the sidewalk over there. So yeah, I mean, third is really where you don't want to be, right? So if you come down here and it's late at night, I'm driving. It's not nearly as bad of an issue, but you know, all these people that are down here, they're high, they're on drugs. You know, they're, call it what you want to call it. I call it a drug crisis. These people are actively dying right in front of you, and a lot of people have normalized watching that happen. And I don't think I will ever feel that way. I won't ever feel like that's a normal thing to see. There's a guy resting his face against a cement block, standing up. I mean, it's a different world. So let's see here. Do not enter. Gotta pay attention to these signs. 6 a.m. to 7 p.m. So we can keep going this way. So we're just gonna drive along downtown. Got this guy staring at me pretty good. So it's I will say it's not as dirty. Kind of disappointed that there's no police presence whatsoever. But you know, it's cold. It's gosh, what's the temp? Let's see. We got to be close to freezing. I don't think we're quite at freezing, but let's see if I can get my phone to work here. All right. So actually not as cold as I thought. So we're at 37 degrees. So we're not as cold as I thought. It's getting down to 36 tonight. So tomorrow, low of 36, high of 45. We did have a decent little snowstorm that came through in December. Pretty crazy. We had sheets of ice. So we had freezing rain that came down, and cars were just covered in ice. I had to chisel my car out. You can look up videos on YouTube of people sliding all over the place in downtown and all around Pacific Northwest, just trying to get around. It was kind of a nutty thing. So we're coming into Pioneer Square. This is where I expected to get rougher. So as you can see on the right here, lots more garbage, lots more junk everywhere. It's right around where the Morrison is, which I believe is still shut down. So, and yeah, we got lots of people buying drugs and tents, and you know, still not as many as are normally here. So it's not great. It's not horrible. There's still a lot of people that are struggling, and you know, if they're going to be out here in January, then they're most certainly going to be out here when it comes to spring and summertime when the weather gets better. So just I don't know what this dude's doing. He's just stopping right in the middle. So as you can see, just it's just kind of a sad state of things as far as how things are right now, and I hope they get better. That's really what you always hope. But yeah, so anyhow, just gonna drive around a little bit more. Just could not sleep tonight. getting over COVID, it was like, hey, I need to get out of the house. Haven't made a video in a while. Wanted to tell everyone thank you for subscribing to the channel. If you're new here and are still figuring out what kind of content this channel is, it's mostly talking about the Pacific Northwest and exploring around here. And I try and be as honest as I can, so showing you the good, the bad, this bumpy road that is throwing me all over the place. But really just, you know, things I enjoy, things that I find along the way, adventures with the family, just really, you know, exploring the Pacific Northwest. So that kind of takes the form of walking around Seattle, driving around, going on places like going to amusement parks and things that we do as a family, and just kind of letting you guys come along for the ride. So if that's something you're interested in seeing more of, that's usually what the content is going to be around. So like I said, there's a couple of things I'm pretty excited about. I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to make a video about it. One of the things you may notice is this is not the Exploder anymore. So the Explorer was retired today. That's part of the reason why I couldn't sleep. So I've got a new rig, really excited to be in it, and it's gonna make some possibilities for what I'd like to do a reality. So that's gonna be really exciting to see come to fruition finally. All right, well, we basically came into Pioneer Square. We're gonna head north a little bit and see what we see. Yeah, a lot of people got pretty excited. We made a video of the Grinch. There's a Grinch out in Granite Falls. It's a family that puts that on every year, and they just take donations. So whatever you want to donate to them, you donate. But we've taken the kids out there to take photos of the Grinch, I think 2 or 3 years now. And I threw that up, and that's been the most popular video I've made. It got, last I looked, over 700,000 views. So I was not expecting that many views from a shorts, but it was kind of cool to see something take off that was, you know, us going on a little adventure for the day. It wasn't anything too crazy or anything like that, but that brought a lot of people into the channel, and it's been a crazy December and January. So hoping to get back into the swing of things, getting some content up, and it'll be fun to interact with you guys again. It's some of you I haven't heard from in a while, and some of you reached out and just want to say thank you. I appreciate that. I'm glad you're enjoying the content, and if there's something you guys are interested in or have questions on, please let me know. You know, part of the idea of the channel is just getting me to go out and explore as well. So it's not like I know everything. I definitely don't, but it makes me find enjoyment in Pacific Northwest, getting to find new things and experience them. I'm actually kind of surprised the Macy's or the Bon Marché, whatever you want to call it, Star is still up. So that's usually down by now, I think. They have a Comic-Con coming up, I think, in March. So just did a Comic-Con video, but apparently it's coming back in March. So I'm looking forward to hopefully going to at least one day of Comic-Con. So we're coming into Westlake. This is another area that, you know, there's just driving around, you're just seeing kind of pockets of people everywhere, and it's, you know, you look over, you see a lighter flash, and you see tinfoil, and you see stuff, and they're just it's an open drug market, and it's really frustrating because the police can't arrest them for doing that anymore. So, you know, as long as they're you know, not doing anything other than doing their drugs, no one's gonna really do anything to them. So Westlake Mall, I don't know how much the GoPro is gonna show of that, but if you look over there, you know, or sorry, the Westlake Park that's right there, people go and hang out there all day. I won't sit in those chairs because at nighttime you see what happens over there, and I just don't want to be exposed to whatever you're potentially getting exposed to. So just be cognizant of where you are and where you're sitting. The city isn't necessarily the cleanest. We're known as the Emerald City, but unfortunately the downtown core is not so pretty anymore. It's pretty from afar, it's pretty when you don't get too close, but some of the stuff happening on the street level is pretty atrocious. That's something I get too, is a lot of people say, oh, you know, that doesn't look too bad, or that isn't anything compared to this area. You know, I don't want to say we're worse than another area, or say this area is better, or anything like that. The idea is, this is what we're dealing with today. I would like to see it get better. I'd like to see what it was like 10, 15 years ago. Our violent crime, our property theft, shootings, all these things have skyrocketed in the last few years, and just because they're not as bad as somewhere else doesn't mean they're good for Seattle. Seattle for a long time was known as one of the safest cities in the country, and if you look at the numbers now, you know, that's not necessarily as true as it used to be, which is frustrating for somebody that grew up here and knows this area and would regularly take the bus and hang out in Seattle and explore. And the idea of my kids doing that on their own, or even my wife being down here with the problems we have today, I wouldn't be thrilled with the idea of her being down here. So you know, it's a different world, and I know we hear that a lot. Oh, things have changed, this or that, you know. Well, part of it is things have changed. We're more aware. You know, there's social media makes everything so easily accessible, but there is a lot of it that has changed because we've made policy decisions and elected people that have taken a very soft approach as far as crime goes. And, you know, I definitely think diversion programs have their place. I think that people need help, but at a certain point, you have to put public safety and the safety of people that are not able to take care of themselves above being compassionate, or whatever you want to call it. You know, misplaced compassion is killing them, and you see a lot of them pass away. You see a lot of stories on the news where it's, oh yeah, you know, this guy was crazy and doing all these things. It was only a matter of time before he did something worse. And you hear that on a pretty regular basis. It's not, you know, it's not rare to hear about somebody that was arrested 10, 15, 20, up to 100 times, and they kept giving them a slap on the wrist, and then eventually something real bad happens. And, you know, that's where we need politicians to say, okay, enough is enough, and make a change. All right, well, to drive around a bit, it's fun getting the new rig out. Drove down a little bit of Third, well, a good chunk of it from downtown to Pioneer Square, but we are now in the it's now called Uptown, which I still will consider Lower Queen Anne. That's where we are right now, and I think that's where we're gonna end the video. So look forward to having some content coming out real soon here, kind of telling you what's going on with the channel and what the plan is. Just want to say thank you again for getting us over 1,000 subscribers. Pretty cool. So until next time, guys, keep exploring, and we'll talk soon.